John has been working a lot and he's so tired he can't get out of bed.
John, I think you're just going to have to put your foot down.
As soon as I get enough energy to lift it up, I'll put it down.
Well, you tell Mr. Metcalf no work this weekend. If the workload's that heavy, then he can just put on another lawyer.
Right. Foot down, no weekend.
Okay then, it's settled. Foot down.
He'll go to San Diego this weekend just for the formality of meeting Yarborough, after which he'll sign the contract.
Yes, I'm sure, Mr. Metcalf, my wife and I...
Sally'll have to go along. He always likes to meet the wives as well.
With all due respect...
So my suggestion would be you fly down Saturday morning.
It's hard to put your foot down when the other guy keeps stepping on it.
Spend the day on the town. Meet him Sunday at his home for brunch, which shouldn't take more than an hour or so. And the rest of the time's your own.
What you're saying, sir, is that Sally and I are to have an all-expense-paid 2-day vacation in San Diego, just to have brunch with a millionaire.
That's about it.
Metcalf has been a newlywed himself. Several times, in fact, so he knows what he's telling you. I suggest you just go with it. And why they let Jerry invite himself, I shall never know. He's late as usual, so they have to scramble.
Well, we've still got 10 minutes, but that's really cutting it close. Hi.
Just in time, huh?
For a 2-hour wait. There's been a delay in preparing the aircraft.
It's only 1974, so I won't ask who built the plane, for now.
Well, that gives us just enough time to have a nice leisurely breakfast.
Sure, what better way to start out our weekend than a nice airport breakfast?
Sure.
Somebody's planning a nice weekend.
Oh, that's me, Sugar Nose. I never go anywhere without my bottle collection.
Is collecting things your hobby?
What is it about Jerry that affects women like that? I concluded a long time ago that there are people in this world who just radiate pheromones that attract people of the opposite sex to them. I also concluded that I am not one of those people. I don't think my wife minds. By the way, the airline lady is Maureen Reagan, daughter of Ronald Reagan and Jane Wyman. She had a fairly brief and nondescript acting career. Mostly when she was on screen, she was herself doing an interview or campaigning for her dad. She died of cancer in 2001 at the age of 60, and the former president had Alzheimer's disease bad enough that the family chose not to tell him. I can't blame them. When I learned how Alzheimer's works, I understood why. This stuff steals your memories, starting with the most recent. They could have told him today that she had died, and tomorrow he'd have forgotten. Telling him again would mean he felt that pain for the first time all over again. That would have been unintended cruelty. Looks like his family understood that. I'm not sure they would have understood her attraction to Jerry.
You okay, honey?
Yeah, I don't know, that's about the roughest flight I've ever been on.
That's the first time I ever heard a stewardess say coffee, tea, or Dramamine.
Oh, honey, just to be on the safe side, I better call the Regent Plaza and tell them we're going to be a little late.
Well, it can't hurt. In the meantime, we'll go pick up the bags.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
It is already.
John is going to learn something very important. If your flight is delayed, call your hotel and let them know so they hold your reservation. John didn't, and they didn't. We don't have a place to stay.
Well, your claim checks seem to be in order.
I'm glad I passed. Can I have my bags?
Well, if they didn't make your flight, I'm sure they'll be along in the next one. Security Airlines will be happy to send them directly to your hotel.
Well, I guess that's the next best thing. The name is Burton.
Mm-hmm.
And we're staying at the Regent Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the bags get lost on such a short flight.
Happens all the time. We're used to it.
How nice for you. We're not. They'll get sick of hearing, "Thank you for flying Security Airlines." I'm thinking, was there ever an airline that was so poorly named? There's a convention in town and all the hotels are booked up. Jerry to the rescue. He knows a place.
Al, you really fixed the place up.
Thanks, Jerry. We tried. No luggage, right?
Al, there with me.
No wonder, no luggage.
Our luggage is lost.
So maybe we could just go to our rooms.
Rooms? What you talking about, Jerry?
Guys, it isn't exactly rooms.
Oh?
It's a room. There's a convention in town. We were lucky to get that. You got a pen that works?
Here, try that.
Well, maybe then we can go to our room.
Well, we'll see.
If he doesn't try to play Peeping Tom on Sally at some point, I'll be surprised. Woodrow Parfrey excelled at playing these kinds of characters. He lost his parents during the Great Depression and lived on virtually nothing during that time. Later, during World War II, he was fighting in the Battle of the Bulge and the Germans captured him. Later, he drew on those experiences to give personality to his characters. I lost count of how many times we've seen him on the channel. Right now, the operative word for him is creepy.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Phyllis. That's Phyllis. She's the house detective. She makes the greatest pineapple upside-down cake.
Well, I always say a good detective has to know how to make a cake. I'm not sure why, but Jerry seems to think it's important.
Must be me. Now the key doesn't work.
Permettez-moi. We're lucky we got the Woody Herman suite.
Somebody needs to sit Jerry down and explain to him what a suite is.
It's quaint.
Yeah, certainly adequate.
Adequate. It's more than adequate.
Twin beds. But they got wheels, though.
What about you, Jer?
I ain't got no wheels.
You mean you forgot your Heelys again?
She means where are you going to sleep?
Oh, well, one has many friends.
Well, we can put a cot in here.
I don't want to ruin you guys' holiday, so I'm going to quietly split.
Oh, Jerry, don't be silly.
No, there's a family tavern real close to here, and they have the greatest clientele. It's a family of Stewardi, the Flying Grotsteins, and they're all lovely, and they're real good sports.
Ignoring Jerry's one-track mind, they may as well try to make the best of it.
I'm hungry, Sal. You want to get something to eat?
Sure, I'll have 2 of whatever you have.
Okay. Coming right up. Hello? Yes, please, room service. Yeah, fine. Thank you very much.
What happened?
Room service is something called the Boo Boo Tiki restaurant.
Kids, if you expect room service in this place, you have both led sheltered lives.
I'm sorry.
You young people don't care about anything today. I might have got a whiplash.
Might have improved her disposition.
Lady, if you got whiplash from that, you're way too delicate to be going anywhere. Make yourself up like a china doll and go sit on a shelf somewhere.
Could you have the bell captain call Security Airlines from time to time or so to check on our bags?
No can do. The bell captain went in the army in 43.
Bell captain indeed. I'm coming to the conclusion that John has led such a privileged life, he has no idea that there are people who live in places like this. He's expecting 5-star service from a flop house.
$9.65.
$9.65. Sally, my wallet's gone.
John, it can't be.
It is. The lobby.
The cranky old lady.
The cashier isn't terribly sympathetic. John says, give me your name and address, I'll give you mine, and I'll send you a check tomorrow when I get home.
Has our name and address. And you can give me your name and address. And your watch.
How do I know you'll send it back?
Same way I know you'll send a check.
I never understood wearing an expensive watch. I once saw a speaker who was talking about his $10,000 watch, how it had diamonds for the numbers, and because of that, he couldn't read it. That was in 1986, and I'm still waiting for someone to explain it to me. I wore cheap Timexes until digital ones like this one started appearing. Then I wore cheap digital watches. As you can see, I still do. Because it's cheap and functional, nobody wants it as collateral for anything. That means that unlike John, I can still go like this and know what time it is. Through all of this, they've been trying to stay positive. It's not so bad. It'll make a great story. It's not getting me down. I was afraid it was getting you down.
And I don't mind the walk.
Just don't work up an appetite.
This will make a good story. John, you're not letting this get to you.
Sal,
Yeah?
it's getting to me.
Took you long enough. I would have been back in L.A. by now telling Metcalf to go get the signature himself. So now they've had a meal that's sitting like a rock, they're drenched and cold, and they have no other clothes. At least they can go back to the room and get out of these wet ones.
Who is? You wish of something?
Yeah, we wish him to come into our room.
It is the room of my friend, who is Jerry.
If I'm John, at this point, I'm kicking the door, busting that chain, and then I'm busting Jerry. You might have noticed her accent is sort of indeterminate. She uses words like chérie, which sound French, but then she says things like und, which is German. No wonder she likes Jerry. She's thoroughly confused. John tries to explain that Jerry is his brother and this is their room, but she's not sure whether to believe him. They can't sort it out with Sir Creep-a-Lot. He's out to lunch. Sally is calling Annie to have her wire them some money while John is arguing with the airline.
But you ought to have some idea by now. No, it's not the Regent Plaza, it's the Mason-Dixie. And please, please don't thank me for calling Security Airlines. Just find our bags.
And while you're at it, find Jerry. He and John need to have a talk.
I'm sorry, you guys. I just thought you'd be out on the town.
I do not mean for trouble, but a girl cannot have too much careful.
Oh, that's all straightened out now. We'll just wait for our telegram from Annie.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't have more cash, but I just plan on doing a lot of staying in.
Yeah, not here you won't. They head out, finally.
Sal, if that money doesn't get here before the stores close, we're in trouble.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
If they go to see this millionaire dude looking like they just got out of the shower, it won't go over too well.
Yeah?
Telegram.
Good.
Burton?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Sylvia. Happy birthday to you.
So apparently Sylvia has their money. I'm sure it looks like a birthday present from somebody she doesn't know, but if I'm in her place, I'm not about to argue.
Sal, that's a whole ball game. That is it. We can't go to Mr. Yarborough's in these clothes. I don't have any money to get there anyway. I can't call him and tell him what happened. That'd sure prove that I was dependable and reliable, right?
That's exactly what he needs to do. Consider delayed flight beyond your control. Lost reservation because of delayed flight beyond your control. Lost luggage beyond your control. Stolen wallet beyond your control. Rainstorm beyond your control. Dippy brother who thinks with his thingy beyond your control. If that guy doesn't understand that stuff like this happens, maybe John doesn't need his account anyway. But that won't fly with Metcalf, we know that. The phone awakens them in the morning. Security Air found their luggage.
What time is it? Do you know? 10:05.
We have to be at the Yarboroughs by noon.
Yeah, no, listen, we can't wait for that. Just, you can't send him to the hotel. We'll pick him up. Yeah, it's right on the way to the Yarboroughs. Okay, you got that? Now, do not, I repeat, not send them to the hotel. Huh? No, it's not the Regent Plaza. It's a Mason-Dixie. But don't send them to either hotel. Yeah, we'll pick them up.
All they need is cab fare to get them to the airport and then to Yarborough's. Well, Phyllis said if they needed anything, just ask, so may as well ask. The worst she can do is say no.
I'm so glad you talked to me. I'll be happy to lend you the money.
That's great.
On one condition.
Anything.
Keep it to yourself. I have an image to protect.
And what is that image? As if we need to know. It would have taken less than 10 seconds to give us some idea. I suspect sloppy writing like this is part of the reason the show didn't get a second season. Getting to the airport is an adventure of its own, but finally they're back at the luggage counter.
Ah, Mrs. Burton. And this must be Mr. Burton? What are you doing here?
No jokes, please. Just our luggage.
But it's on its way to your hotel.
But I distinctly told you.
That's right. Not the Mason-Dixie, the Regent Plaza.
This is when I call for that guy's manager and become the worst Karen you ever saw. Nobody who watches the channel has ever seen me in that mode. You don't want to. Instead, they're defeated. They have no idea what to do.
Are you crying?
Almost, not quite.
Well, somebody around here is. John, I can read that girl.
Look at that. We mentioned her ESP, and it's even useful. The couple just got married, came here for their honeymoon, and they can't find a room anywhere. John and Sally have the solution to that, and all it will cost those nice folks is the use of their clothes for a couple of hours.
I hope they enjoy our room.
Yeah, I showed her the door thing.
Okay.
Well, how do I look?
You mind a little criticism?
No.
The gardenia's gotta go.
A little too festive, huh?
From here on out, total dignity.
Right.
Dignity. Always dignity.
Just don't tell Jerry. He thinks dignity is the job you do with a shovel.
You guys with the cabs laying low, I don't know how to thank you.
Just pass the word. We do good things, too.
Right.
Yeah, it's not all hitting and chain.
Yes, we certainly will pass that word.
I watched a lot of biker gang movies in my teens, but I never found them believable. There was a bike club in Stockton called the Devil's Disciples, but they never did anything but get together for barbecues and go for rides around the city together. It was the same with the Hells Angels in San Francisco. Well, there was that one Altamont thing. By contrast, a couple of years ago, we came upon a bad accident. A logging truck had taken a hairpin turn too fast, crossed a line, and forced a motorcyclist into the concrete Jersey barrier. We stopped to help along with several other people, including another biker. These two guys didn't know each other, but the other biker told the police that they weren't going to touch the injured man's bike, and they sure as heck weren't going to impound it. He gave the victim his name and phone number and said, "Your bike is safe with me. Just let me know when you're all right, and we'll get it back to you." I don't know how many thousands of dollars he saved a complete stranger, but this was my experience when I rode a bike. Folks, look out for each other. Whether you've ever met or not, if you're both on two motorized wheels, you're friends. So yeah, they do good things too. In fact, all the naysayers should be such terrible citizens. Let's hope Mr. Yarborough didn't see how they arrived.
On the button.
On the
Button. Any trouble getting here?
None at all.
Today, I suspect they might have told him the whole story, but in 1974, that wouldn't have been dignified. Americans were still stuck in the mindset that says you keep it to yourself, ulcers are better than being undignified. But honestly, in their place, I think I would have kept the gardenia. John got the account, they're back at home. The big question now is their luggage. Jerry's been working on that.
Well, I went to the Regent Plaza, like you told me to. That's a real nice place.
And?
They got your luggage.
Great.
But when you weren't there, they sent it back to Security Airlines.
No
gonna have to go through all that again?
No, I checked on everything. They sent the luggage on the next plane.
The next plane to where?
Good.
Bad.
Bad?
The next plane was to Bangor, Maine.
Terrific.
But they did want me to give you a message.
What was that?
Thank you for flying Security Airlines.
And thank you, good folks, for making sure that the next time we fly, we'll take the train instead. Once again, we found one little spot to shoehorn Sally's ESP in. You may recall that last time we didn't even do that. It's supposed to be the premise of the show right down to the title. But for some time now, I've been wondering if any of that is accurate. As far as her gift goes, these days it should be called The Girl with a Big Whoop-De-Doo. That might not be such a problem, except the story is another cliche. There's nothing new here, not even Sally's ESP. She didn't need it to notice that couple and how upset the young lady was. She could tell by looking. That's how significant it's become since the first episode. Nobody cares. You down. Let's do that again with the right words this time. Stepping on it. Don't drool.